I really appreciate you joining me today, and this news is about a prison guard that has been sentenced in relation to smuggling a phone into prison. The papers are yet to identify Larissa Westcott with a picture, but I was able to find an interview from 2014 that she did with the Daily Mail when she got turned down for a job at British Airways because she had a tattoo of her star sign on her foot. This is how I was able to ascertain, because this interview was 8 years ago. She's now 28 years old. She was 20 at the time. She's from the same area, even though on social media she says she's from Windsor, but it's more Maidenhead, and Windsor and Maidenhead are the same council. And all of the pictures verified. So this is how I was able to get a picture to be able to show, because ever so often prison guards and also police officers get convicted of crimes and don't have their images shown in the media, which I don't think is fair. This week, she has avoided a custodial sentence at Guildford Crown Court on the 26th for the 1st. She was given an 8-month custodial sentence, but it's been suspended for 2 years. So she has to be very good for 2 years, or she will have to serve that sentence that she was given, the 8 months. She must also do 30 rehabilitation sessions and 17 hours unpaid work in the next 12 months. I'm not sure what the rehabilitation is for, if it's in regard to being a crooked prison guard or if it's in relation to some sort of issue she has with alcohol or drugs. Larissa was ordered to pay £500 costs plus a victim surcharge. The 28-year-old pled guilty to 1 count of bringing in a phone and a prohibited article. Between January and February last year, Westcott was employed as a prison officer at HMP Bronzefield. This is in Surrey, and she smuggled the phone in at the request of a prisoner. It was left under a pillow for the prisoner to find, and the device was found during a search, and Westcott was named as the person who brought it in. During the subsequent investigation by the counter-corruption officers from the South East Regional Prison Intelligence Team, Westcott admitted to bringing the phone into the prison. So it seems when they spun the pad that the prisoner grassed her up, basically. That's what it seems like. And she had no choice but to admit what she'd done. The investigating officer, Detective Constable Nick Gossage, said Westcott was in a position of trust and she broke her integrity, and this was key to her role. However, she took it upon herself to liaise with a prisoner and smuggle a phone into prison. Mobile phones in prison cause a lot of harm, and they can use them to sell drugs and also commit crimes on the outside. They said that this should serve as a warning to anybody else in prison who is considering doing this, but I'm not sure how that's a warning, because she didn't get any prison time. She completely avoided any responsibility for her actions, and she's free to do whatever she wants. So Larissa didn't get a job as an airline stewardess due to her tattoo, and she's also lost a job as a prison guard, so hopefully in the future she sorts her life out and stops making really silly decisions. But I really want to hear what people have to say on this article, being as this is an issue very little discussed about how prison guards operate inside prisons. And this is very similar to a case that was heard 3 days ago in a Scottish court, where a prison guard built a relationship up with a prisoner but was smuggling in drugs and also phones. Scottish prisons have had a lot of issues with phones being smuggled in and prisoners trying to take advantage of this. Heather McKenzie, 31 years old, got close to a con called Zak Malavin. He was part of a family and he was jailed for a murder that occurred in 2010. She was an operations officer at HMP Shotts, and this is a prison that holds some of Scotland's most notorious criminals. Intelligence inside led to McKenzie being suspected of bringing in drugs and also phones into the prison. And he'd previously also had phones, and he appeared in the local papers due to the fact that he used phones a lot in prison. When the police searched his cell, they found 5.7 grams of cocaine and also an iPhone with text messages to McKenzie. Police raided her home in 2020 and they found £2,500 in cash, mobile phones, syringes, steroids, cocaine and also benzocaine. They also learned that she tried to persuade other prisoners to stay involved in the smuggling operation and to not be worried. At the High Court, the mother of 2 admitted supplying Malavin and others with drugs, dating from March to October 2020. She also admitted giving Malavin an illicit phone and also a SIM card. The prosecution said it was a joint operation with the police service and Police Scotland into corruption at the jail. Zak Malavin knifed Andrew Curran, 41 years old, to death in a Glasgow fight in April 2020. This was a feud between 2 families, and ever since he's been in jail, every now and again he would appear in the paper for the use of phones. So the prison made a big investigation to try to find out why he was getting access to so many phones. So really appreciate you joining me for this news. I'll be back again very shortly with some more. Don't forget to follow on social media at Scarcity Studios and also scarcitystudios.com.